Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Thursday, the 9th, and it's 4:30 in the morning. Couldn't. I got tired just laying in bed, and I said, "Well, time to get up." So today, I wanted to talk about what we should be thankful for, and to give an update on my son and his family. Stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to the channel. I thought today, we do an update on, I mentioned yesterday about my son and his family and what's going on there and stuff to be thankful for and certain things in life that you're going to come up against. But for the update, my son, fiance, and their two boys, young, lost their whole house, belongings and everything, to a fire night before last. And they ended up, it was a faulty porch light that actually caught the house on fire, if you can believe that. And the good thing is my son was running for city council, so the family, he'd taken the family to vote, him and his fiancee. So they weren't home at the time that the porch light caught blaze. And by the time they got back home, it was fully engulfed. Now, to be thankful for is that it didn't happen during the middle of the night, and it could be a whole different story of, instead of just losing all their belongings and their pets, it could have been one of them or all of them. And that's how today's video on being thankful for what we have comes into play. But they're going to be okay, and that's all that counts. And that's what today's video is about, is being thankful for what you have and the challenges in life that you're going to come up against. If you've been on this earth any amount of time, you're going to have what I would deem major setbacks. And what do they say? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Hey. But I know that in my 61 years, I've had numerous setbacks. And as hard as it was to say goodbye to that and to start new, I always survived. Even times when I didn't think I was going to survive. See, a lot of people this day and age think by the time you're 40 years old that you should have it all figured out. The right job, the right spouse, kids if you wanted them, 2 vehicles, a beautiful house, beautiful jobs, go on vacation. You got it made, right? But here's the true fact, is that whoever's telling you that you should have all your shit together by the time you're 40 is either crazy or they're lying. I don't know of anybody that's got it all together. Some people may portray, and they want you to see something that's an illusion of themselves, but in reality, they don't have it all together. They don't have it all figured out. I'm 61, and I sure in hell don't have it all figured out. So you just need to give yourself a break on when you're coming up through, of what you want to be, where you want to be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, cut yourself some slack, because it's enjoy the ride. It's your life. You get to choose how you want it to play out. And like I was saying here just a few minutes ago, no matter what, you're still going to hit some roadblocks and bumps. And sometimes some major detours. But when you hit a detour, you just can't stop living. You can't turn around and go back. You have to figure out what is it inside of you that is going to spark you to find a way around a major detour. And that could be simply going and getting a road map. I know most vehicles are equipped with GPS now, so you can more easily kind of figure out how to get around it. But in life, there is no road map. In life, I always say that the Lord isn't going to give us something that we can't take and can't do ourselves. And in the moment, it may seem overwhelming and stuff, but you just can't stop living. You need to go forward. In this day and age, and for hundreds of years, probably the biggest loss is loss of life. Loss of a spouse, loss of a child, loss of a parent, loss of a best friend, boss, because they're no longer here. And it's how you deal with it is how you're going to be able to move on. It's not easy for anyone to deal with a loss like that, but we've all encountered them. And we're going to keep encountering them, because we are not creatures that live indefinitely. We're prone to different illnesses. We just came through COVID, where we lost so many elderly. I mean, for me, it's probably gotten easier because I do believe in heaven, per se. And I do believe that they're in heaven, and the ones, if you listen, you'll hear their voices. And this is how you keep somebody alive in your life that's gone to the other side. Is I know that there's certain people, like my grandfather and stuff. I know I can hear him say stuff to me, when I'm doing things. It's like, be thankful for what you have instead of what you think you should have. And being a complainer, put your big boy pants on. How to be moral and ethical and a upstanding young man through the years. And others that have been very instrumental. It's kind of like if you can find a quiet space and all of a sudden the answer comes to you, I'm telling you. But the big thing is, the ones I have an issue with, that I have problems sometimes being around, is that their loss is more of a loss than your loss. And, we each deal with loss differently. Okay? There's different stages of loss and grief. Of course, when you lose someone that you love, that is probably the hardest. Losing a business is hard, but it is something that if you sit down and go back to the drawing board and you find out what you did wrong, you can still grow that business, except for not doing it the wrong way this time. A loss of a pet, a loss. I can remember when I was growing up, my grandfather, he always would tell me, be very thankful for what you have. Because there's other people out there that have a heck of a lot less than you. And they're not complaining. And they're not whining. And that's what I find myself doing at certain times. And I have to give myself a correction of, what are you whining and complaining about? Really? It could be so much worse. And you've got family, you've got friends, you've got a business, you've got property, you got dogs. But even the best of us can fall into this trap of bitching and complaining about our life and how we're not where we thought we would be, or who would we be, or that we don't have something that we think we need to have. We've covered this in another video. We need food, water, shelter. Okay? Those are the basics. But I hate to say it, what I'm seeing lately on the news is we aren't even covering those bases for a lot of folks. You see a lot of homeless camps. I know what you're going to say. They got addicted to drugs and they're on the streets. And you're right. For a good many of them, they made a wrong choice in life. Does that make them bad people? No. It just tells me that they were stupid and made a bad choice. And a choice that they're living with every day. But that's fine if the story ends there, right? But what we found is, like in California and even New York City, it's a lot of your cities that property values have gone up so much and the taxes have gone up so much that folks that are on a fixed income that have worked all their lives just to retire are selling their homes. You're having young females with kids that are left homeless, that are not using drugs, that are looking just for shelter and food for their kids. But the one thing you don't hear a lot from the people that are there is bitching and complaining and whining. If you listen to them, they're finding the good in everything that's going on in their life, even as bad as it is, that we can see it. That she is homeless with 2 kids. But she says her prayers every night, and she's very thankful for what they got. They've got the food pantry that's giving them some food. They've got a place that they can get out of the weather to sleep for the night. But this is going on right here. And this is what my grandfather had said. If you think you really have it really bad off, look around. It's easy to bitch and complain about things in our life and things that other people are doing. Easy. It's another to take a good look at our own lives and how perfect are we. I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not perfect, not even close. Nope. And I'm okay with that. But my goals in life have always been, I challenge myself on a daily basis to be a better father, a better grandfather, a better husband, a better friend, to be better than I was the day before. And I know that no matter how hard some days I try to live by that, I kind of get beaten back a little bit. And that's okay. And that's how life is. Life is not going to be, what is it, Ernest Gump, box of chocolates. It's not going to be that way. Nobody has had a perfect life. But I think the more people that start learning how to be thankful for what they have and stop bitching and complaining about stuff that they don't have or what other people are doing or not doing or this or that, is it really worth it? How much of your day are you going to devote to taking somebody down or bitching and complaining about them? Or bitching about your own life, where you want to be? Like I say, it's easy to do that, but it's harder to be thankful for what we have and thankful for the people that are around us. Sometimes, as big a pain in the ass as they are, I'm still very thankful that they're in my life. Like I say, nobody's perfect. It's like relationships. You're waiting for that perfect person to come along to get married to, okay? And she's got an idea of what her perfect partner is going to look like. And he's got a perfect picture of what his perfect partner is going to look like. But the problem is there is nobody out there that's perfect. We all come with what I call baggage. And baggage is simply the stuff in our life that we haven't been able to shed, and that we carry it on our back like a badge of honor, like the scarlet letter A, if you read that book or watched that movie, of all the bad things that have happened in our life. You know, she might have in her baggage of a relationship that she had a year or two prior and found out that the guy really didn't love her and was cheating on her. Well, let's throw that into the baggage. And if you don't learn how to shed that baggage will be so heavy that just trying to get through the day is a struggle, right? Everything else we put in that backpack gets heavier and heavier, and it comes to a point of where it makes us stationary because we cannot move another step. We are exhausted. But you have two people that are probably very compatible and would love each other very much and be able to move forward. Not happening because they're looking for the perfect spouse. And they're lying to themselves, because there is no perfect spouse. There is not one person I've ever met in life that didn't come with baggage. The quickest thing you can do today, if you're carrying a lot of baggage, is you need to inventory that baggage. And what baggage you carrying around? Is it a divorce, a failed job, best friend, and you aren't talking anymore? Go through all your inventory, your baggage, and say, is any of this helping me get to where I want to be today? And the answer should be no. If anything, it's hindering you. So what you need to do is you need to dissect each one and throw it away. And every time you throw one away, that baggage gets lighter. But you have to be able to throw one away and not put 2 more in it, okay? And I've seen people that would put 3 more for every one that they threw away, thinking they're getting ahead, and they're not. They're adding more baggage. And then I see people trying to be someone they're not. And I ask, why? Well, because that person that I want to be popular and this and that, and wait a minute. If you watch my channel, I always say 6 to 7 billion people on this earth. Each person is unique. Be your frickin' self. Just be yourself. The right people will gravitate towards you. The right spouse will gravitate towards you. The right job will come along if you're being yourself. But if you're being a persona of someone that you would hope to be, you're not just fooling people around you. You're fooling yourself. Because you can only hold that persona up just so long, and then you're going to crash. What is so important and what is so hateful about yourself that you can't feel that you can be yourself? That's the question you need to ask. Because if you tell me that you're not perfect, I'm not perfect. If you tell me because you're real you're kind of a loner, that's okay too. And I can show you ways to go from being a loner to connecting with other people that have the same mindset as you, the same traits, the same, and you will no longer be a loner. But I'm telling you right now, if you just be yourself and let people see the real you, are you going to turn some people off? Absolutely. You can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time. So why try? It's an unachievable goal to try to please everybody. And you can't help somebody else unless you first have helped yourself so that you're healthy. If you're not healthy and you go try to help somebody else, good chances are it's going to make you even more unhealthy. And I know you've seen people like this. I have. I have a sister like that she'll go to the end of the earth for everybody, even at the toll of her wellness. She just runs nonstop. She's tired. She's doing what she thinks everybody wants and needs. And she has no time for herself and gets 3 to 4 hours of sleep a day. She's loved and adored by everybody for everything that she's doing. But she'd be loved and adored by everybody just by being herself. She hasn't got to go do all this stuff. But I think that's more towards the younger crowd. I don't know if I have very many of you in the younger crowd, but just be yourself. And when it comes to baggage, just pay attention to what you're throwing on in that backpack. And work on today unloading that backpack. Because that backpack, the baggage, is what's holding you back from that better job or that relationship or creating a business. It's all your worries and doubts and fears are all in that bag too. One thing I've always kind of lived by, and I tell people, is if there's something that you want to do in life, what's stopping you? The biggest one is fear. Fear is a big one. Fear of failure. Fear that people aren't going to like you. Fear that, the relationship isn't going to last. Fear that, but no matter who you're with, that fear is still going to be there, and it could be sabotaging everything you're trying to accomplish, whether it be a relationship, starting a business, starting a new job, even buying that house. So you have to look inside and decide, today is the day I'm going to make a change. Today is the day I'm going to be thankful for what I have instead of what I don't have. Today I'm going to work on trying to eliminate some of that baggage so that I can achieve the things in life that I want. And I'm going to do it starting today, just being myself. And I know that some of my friends probably are not going to like who I am if I'm just being myself. And I may be outspoken, but I'm going to be me. And that's all I know how to be, is me. And I can tell you, being me is not easy. So don't even try to be like me. You go crazy. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. Start it today on things that you can change and that make it a lighter load. Keep fear in check from starting that new job, going for that interview, thinking you're not good enough. You're good enough. Be yourself. You're good enough. The worst they can say is no, right? Or the worst that can happen is you don't get that job. But at least you tried for that job, right? You went to the interview, and you may be second on the list, so that when the next position comes up, you may take it. But if you don't try for that job, and then later find out that upper management had you pegged for that job, but since you didn't apply for it, they felt that there's nothing that you wanted, they moved on, and you could have had the job. You don't know until you take a chance. And it's all about living for today. You can't change anything in the past. If you've wronged people and you can correct it by apologizing and stuff, then do it. But other than that, the only reason to be looking back is so that you don't repeat things over and over and over again that are not good for you and the people around you. So as usual, thanks for watching. If this video, if you like this kind of video, if you could like, subscribe, and share it to somebody you may know that's going through a little difficult time in their life and they need to hear somebody just tell them the way it is, please share it. All right. So on that note, you guys have a great Thursday, the 9th. And we'll see you here tomorrow morning. Thanks so much for watching.